welcome back to my channel. I can't turn that off because the air quality is poor in this room right now. Literally their words, not mine. But I just wanted to talk. I was waiting for the air quality to get better. But then Mom left and left her door open, so that probably made a difference. But I wanted to say good morning. I don't even have the strength to get my tripod, so you're leaning up on my water cup. I'm smiling for a thumbnail, but I feel terrible today. I'm going to take a sip. This coffee's been sitting here for about an hour, so it's not even hot anymore. Actually, it's still warm, but it is still my first sip. It's really weird that I lost a day. Yes, I did. Last night, I said to Jim, tomorrow I have to do this, this, and this because it's Friday. And he said, no. I said, yeah, what? He's like, today's Friday. And I said, I asked my digital assistant what the date was, and she confirmed it was Friday. So I had completely lost Friday. Now, I will tell you, yesterday I woke up in a lot more pain than I've been in a very long time. Really, in a very long time. Which I was not concerned mostly, but when I woke up in a lot of pain yesterday, I actually said, oh, maybe because I did so much walking at the doctor's office on yesterday, and thinking it was Thursday. And so I don't really know what happened, honestly. We did do a lot of walking to the doctor's at the doctor's office, and we did some things when we came home, and I sat on the bed and I worked in the room, but I don't really know what happened. Forgive the hair though, because I totally need a haircut. And Lisa called me and said, I'm so sorry, I realized we forgot to cut your hair while I was there. I was like, it's really okay. I'll get to it type of thing, but right now I'm like, I don't feel good, so doing my hair is like, I actually just saw a really cute little soundbite on TikTok, but it was actually on Instagram. So it was a TikTok soundbite that somebody was using on Instagram, is what I mean to say. Where it's like, the first voice was like, come on, let's get up and do it, except I don't feel good. And the way the lady presented it was like she was standing there with her yoga mat, and then when she said she didn't feel good, and the voice was always in high spirits, or lilted, I should say. When she was like, oh, I don't feel good, and then she's laying there and her hoodie pulled over her head, and she just doesn't feel good. And I said, oh my goodness, that's how I feel. So my soul and mentality and my brain is so happy and it wants to do all these things. My body is in such physical pain that it's actually starting to override my mental goodness, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you. I don't know if anybody's ever been there before, but like this morning, yesterday and today, I've had to rely on the walker. I tried the cane, which I've been almost exclusively using my cane for weeks now. I have taken my walker, if I'm doing a long distance, so I took my walker to the doctor's office, because I know from the car to the door to the door to the office, from the office to the back, is a lot more walking than I feel comfortable doing with my cane, because I want to be able to not overdo it, because then obviously when you do that, then you have to go back all of those steps. So when I do long distance like that, I take the walker, but and then I have been sometimes using the walker at night, depending on what I do that day. If I do a lot during the day, then I might be tired. My leg might be tired and need the walker at night. But I told all this to the doctor, and that's why we're going with the course of treatment, or the course of, I guess it's a course of treatment, even though it's just the study still. But yesterday I woke up and I was just really I don't want to say excruciating, because just maximum discomfort where I just couldn't get comfortable. And I know that that's literally the definition of discomfort. But, I've had pain up until this point, and it's usually like, okay, put the pillow under, put the leg up at that angle, and give it a second, and then okay, I can live with that. This is like literally my chair is like down, up, down, pillow, push the pillow, roll the pillow, lean on this hip, lean on that hip. I just can't find a comfortable position. And I don't want to come on here and whine about it, but I realize that I always try to keep it real with you guys, and full disclosure is that sometimes this happens. Sometimes there's days where nothing works, where nothing feels comfortable. I've taken the maximum amount of ibuprofen that I can for the next few hours, and it really is not, it's helped some, but we're talking like if my pain was at a 9, it's brought it down to a 7. So it's, okay, so maybe it's a tiny bit more bearable, but it's still quite discomforting. Like it's yeah, it hurts. That's all. I don't know why I try to use these nice words that sugarcoat it, but bitch hurts, man. Excuse my language. Ooh. And nothing like I'm just sitting here. I flex my foot, and then it relieves the pain for like 20 seconds, and then I have to point my foot because then the pain comes back, and 20 seconds, and I'm constantly moving it. It's just what it is. The reason that I really wanted to talk to you guys this morning was the way that I'm feeling right now, where I'm really in a positive headspace. I would like to address a couple of things that I have seen trending recently on not only my, social media platforms, but others' social media platforms. And I really just wanted to touch base with a couple of things. So we have talked about internet hate before. We've talked about negative people before. We don't reinforce their negative behavior. We try to ignore them. We block them. I do have the philosophy that sometimes when I'm reading their comments, I feel like they're ignorant to the situation. Some people just presume, like in the beginning when I first had my channel, people assumed that I was on disability. I'm so scared. And I'm like, oh, you're just sitting up there collecting disability and going to the Dollar Tree. I'm like, I don't collect disability. I'm not disabled. I have limitations. I have physical limitations. Prevents me from doing certain jobs, but I'm a YouTuber. That was my job or whatever. So I felt like sometimes things needed to be addressed. But then, I get to the point where you're like, are they doing it because they really don't know? Are they doing it just to be hateful? So I realized something, and I wanted to put it in these words for you. If you know somebody, or if you are somebody, or if you see somebody, put it that way, that has gone out of their way, out of their day, out of their normal routine, or has made their normal routine a habit of jumping onto someone's social media platform of whatever it is to tell them how upsetting or disgusted or whatever words that you want to use, hated, they feel because you on social media do not live your life the way that they think you should, or to the standards that they would present themselves in. You don't present yourself in the same standards that they would present themselves in, or what they deem society's standards. And I don't like to use language like this, but you need to tell these people to go fuck off. Excuse my language. I cannot think of another word or expression other than that. Now, I do know that there's a lot of people are very sensitive to my language, and I do apologize if that was a trigger for somebody, but there really isn't, like, get lost isn't a strong enough statement, to go and do your own thing or beat it. None of those things are really strong enough than what I'm actually trying to express by saying those words. And why I'm saying it like that and what I mean by it is When you think you're so self-righteous that you can tell someone else how to live their life, no matter what it is, you have got to really look into the mirror and figure out what's wrong with you. If you're self-righteous or self-grandizing, that you think that your way is so much better than anybody else's way, you've got a problem. And I mean this. There is a certain group of people that really are steadfast to the fact that their way is the only way. And we should know by now in 2021 that that is just not true. Your way is the only way for you. It is the only path that you choose to take. It's the only way that you want to live, but it's not the only way there is to live. If you think that putting on a clothes every time you present yourself in social media, as opposed to just being in your sweatpants and t-shirt or house dress or shorts without full face of makeup, without a fully done hairdo, without fully done nails, is the way everyone else should present themselves, then there's a problem with you. Do you see? Because you are, in all intents and purposes, telling others, strangers perhaps, how to live their lives. And I will tell you that slavery was abolished over 150 years ago. 160 years ago ish. Ish. So you can't really tell anybody how to live their life. Even your children, you can give your children guidance and you can give your children direction. And while they're children, you may be able to enforce those rules, but you really cannot tell even your children how to live their lives. You can, once they become adults, they can choose to follow you and still be under your rule, or they can decide to just leave and never talk to you again. I mean, that's really, as individuals, as human beings, we're each entitled to our own thoughts, our own desires, our own comfort level, our own way we want to present ourselves. And I'm not trying to say that I don't feel a certain way when I get dressed up, or I don't feel a certain way when I'm thinner, or when my eyes weren't so saggy, or when I wasn't so flabby, or when I was stronger. I did, of course I did, but I also know that I grow, we change. We grow, we change, and things change. Yes, I used to have more hair, but now I'm embracing the fact that I don't. You know what? I used to have a lot of hair, and it used to make me sweat like crazy. So I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what? It's all right. It's all right that, nature has decided to make me look my aunt, like a little genetic hiccup that happened along the way. So it's just like, if I feel comfortable presenting myself like this, I can. That's my right. If you don't feel comfortable looking at how I present myself, then you have every right to leave and not look at me. Nobody is forcing you to be here. You're not obliged to me. You're not obligated to be here. You're even subscribing does not exclusively give you permission to tell me what you want to see on my channel, or what you want to what you signed up for. Like, I've had so many people over the course of time sign up to the main channel and say, oh, I signed into your channel for DIYs. I didn't ask for all this. And I was like, well, we've talked about this before. I'm not a DIY channel. It says it right there in the introduction of the old introduction, and the new introduction says it right there in the title. It's not a DIY channel. DIY is just one part of it. So if you find that I'm a disappointment to you, that means that you had an added expectation of what you expected from me, which I know that's an oxy, but you had an expectation, a certain expectation of me, that's on you, because I never said, hey, you know what you guys will expect from me every day? DIYs. It is what it is. I live my life every day. I try to share it every day. I try to inspire at least one person a day, which in my comments I can tell is way more than one person a day. But my goal is to at least get out there to do it, to hopefully give somebody some hope, inspiration, love, a fun way to spend 15 to 50 minutes, depending on what I'm doing that day. So it's just, you know, if I'm making any sense, it's just what it is. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I do know quite a bit about certain subjects, and I try to share that with you because I have always felt in my heart that I was an educator. I mean, that's it. God blessed me with some creative talents. He blessed me with visions of certain, to see things a certain way. And again, I try to use that to encourage and inspire. But nothing's guaranteed in life. Nothing's guaranteed in life. There is no like, nobody owes you anything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Nobody owes you anything. You are 100% responsible for what happens to you, as I am 100% responsible what happens to me. Now again, I hear a lot of times, it's a free country, I could say what I want. You can, but here's the thing. We've talked about it before. Where do you come off being judgmental of others? What gives you the right? What gives you the right's not right, because that's the right. We use that word here in the United States it's changed a little, is what I'm trying to say. Because we do have freedom of speech, which gives us the right to say whatever we want. But I guess, where do you come off judging others based on whatever nonsense you have in your head of how things should be for other people? I mean, you can, 100%. First of all, you have to realize anything you do does have consequences. It will have actions. It just is what it is. But you have to also understand that your opinion is just that, your opinion. And even if you have 35 friends that share a similar opinion, that want to click that like button on your hate message, that's still just their opinions. When I look at my comments and I see that there's 3 hateful comments that have gotten 35 likes, and then there's 20 comments that are all positive, do you think I look at the 35 people, or the one person that said something negative, and the 35 people that agreed with it, and I disregard the 20 positive things that I've gotten? No, it's quite the opposite. I'd be like, well, I don't know what this chick's talking about and her friends. I'm always thinking, Jim and I have put up scenarios in our head that there's these groups of trolls that just keep changing their screen names and have friend followers that just go around and attack. Whatever it is. But it's just really wild that that people think that they have the right to do that. I have to tell you, that's why I sit up here and I say, I know you have the right to be hateful. You do. You have the right to be hateful. What I don't understand is the opposite. How do you feel like you have the right to be hateful? What do you so great in your life that you feel like you can reflect that onto others? Obviously, you're not happy with your life and yourself and how your situation is going, because you decided that you needed to get on and spread hate and spread negativity and try to bully others or belittle others or berate others. So there is something most definitely wrong in your life, and probably should reflect on that before you jump on and reflect on others. I know that it's a symptom of abuse, and I'm not saying that everybody out there who's a hater is been abused, but a symptom of abuse is the trickle effect where you then want to impose abuse on others. So I do understand that possibly that, you know, you're a victim of abuse, or possibly you're in a situation that makes you unhappy and you have to put that out onto others. But if you feel like you need to do that, I ask you just to reflect onto yourself first. Why are you doing what you're doing? Can there something that you can do for yourself, that you can work on yourself? I will tell you, and I've said this in the beginning, I have never been thin, average weight in my entire life. I have been poor. I have been, when I was an adolescent or young child, I was how do you put it? Hygienically challenged. I've had bad teeth. I've been socially awkward. I have ADD that is undiagnosed, or has been undiagnosed, and I didn't know it, and I just say things that sometimes were inappropriate when I was younger. These are things that I've reflected on, that have made me grow and change. So I'm not trying to say that I'm perfect in I've had a lot of fails as well. I've had a lot of problems. And what that has done for me has given me a super thick skin when it comes to hate. I I know my worth, and I know my value, and I know who I am. And if you want to say something that's contradictory to what I know about myself, I'm not going to listen to you, and I'm not going to believe you. And I'm not going to put value in what you say when it's about me. What I want you to do is I want you to look at yourself and say, why do you feel like you need to do that? I have a very, very good friend who grew up, and her family really focuses on the outward appearance of people. Oh, look at her. She hasn't waxed her mustache. And, oh, look, she's gained 15 pounds. And, oh, she looks fat in those pants. Like, that's a major focus of the family's ideals, or what they focus on when they see others. But I was not raised that way. And I know that there are people, I know there are people who were raised that way, but I'm not raised that way. I was raised in, like, my dad lost a bunch of weight because he lost his sense of taste for about a year. And people would come up to me and be like, is your dad sick? I was like, oh, he just lost his sense of taste. He's just, eating this, this, and this. But he lost, like, so much weight. Then, like, that's my concern. It's not like, oh, your dad looks really good. He looks thin and finally looks fit. No, you're like, is your dad sick because he's lost weight? Like, that's where I've come from as far as the outward appearance of somebody is. Or, oh, you look like you've been at the beach. You look so tan. You got this healthy glow. I don't be like, ooh, you look so pale. You need to go to the beach. Like, that's just not the way I was raised, So I feel like I really just wanted to address this today. It's not just what's happening here, because what's happening here, I just like, all right, hide the user, hide the comment, whatever. Just go about your business. It's like, whatever. And I've told all of my my people, our people, the Henson YouTube family, that you just ignore those people until I can delete their comments, because they don't count. You don't know them. They don't know you. It's funny because I used to say this a lot when I was younger. I was like, well, it's what my family thinks is really what I'm concerned about, Who cares what strangers think? They're strangers. They don't know you from a hole in the wall. When I was 22 and wearing my Mickey Mouse pants, and people didn't care. I care what people thought. Whatevs, dude. But yeah, same thing. Don't care. Um, so anyhow, I would really like to thank you all for all of your unconditional support. And I want to ask those of you who pray, when you see somebody being really negative in the comments or being saying something really harsh, I want you to go ahead and say a prayer for them. Because whatever's happening in their life that's making them hurt so much that they have to reach out and act out, um, they need some love and healing. So it might sound like not counterintuitive, but the opposite of what you want to do. But I ask that you do that with me because that's what I do. I read it and I say a little prayer. It's not a prayer of forgiveness because they don't have anything for me to forgive them for. Because again, I don't know them. They don't know me. But I just say a prayer of healing. I just say, Heavenly Father, this soul is hurting. Please give them love that they need to spread onto others. It's just the way it is. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining me, listening to my rant. Grab your coffee cup whenever you can. Today is early bird, and I was kind of an early bird, but I kind of went back to sleep, so there is that. But again, join me for this Saturday sit and sip, and I know you'll see it on Sunday, but I love you guys. I really do, and I appreciate all of your help and support, and thank you for this, dealing with this noise and this terrible camera angle because I don't have the strength to get my tripod. And I don't even know if you guys have noticed the, like right now I'm putting my feet down. I don't think you can see it on the camera. How I've been like fidgeting back and forth with my leg, which is good. I don't know if you can hear it. I never even thought about that. Maybe you can actually hear the chair. But I've been fidgeting back and forth trying to get comfortable, and it doesn't always work. But I wanted to say thank you. Mary and the Fry Life, they have a t-shirt that says, my body may be broken, but my smile always works. And that's how I feel today. I feel like my soul and my heart and my face is smiling, and my body is in excruciating pain. But it is what it is. You can still find the joy in the moment. I know it's hard sometimes because the pain is so bad, but if you can take a moment to find the joy. My father used to say, the pain proves that you're alive. If I wake up any morning and I'm not in pain, I know I really didn't wake up. So I guess that's how it is when you get older, I guess. I just feel like that's the philosophy. So, oh gosh. All right, I'm going to go. Take care, you guys. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.